Hey, what's up? Dillio coming to you live, representing DillioT2K.com. DillioT2K.com, that's my website. And in this video, I'm going to be doing some producer motivation, some producer mindset topics. And in this topic, I'm going to talk about that all rappers are not the same. I don't know who this video is for. Most advice is stuff that I apply to myself. And if you listen to this video, maybe you can relate to this. And this is for the producers. You know, I got a diversified mix of people who watch the videos on my channel, but this is for the producers who follow me, who I inspire, or who just kind of just bump shoulders with and be like, yeah, man, I'm doing that too, you know. And this is about dealing with artists, especially rappers and stuff like that. And I'll just kind of tell you where I'm coming from and where I'm going. All right, so if you're a producer and you're online or you just out in public with your stuff, you know, you're gonna run into rappers that be like, yo, let's work and all this other stuff. And a lot of times what can happen, and I can tell you my experience, like there's been certain artists that I've kind of would find and I would, you know, just give them tracks. You know, just give them tracks, and then some artists I was actually recording for them. I was mixing for them. I was mastering for them. Because I thought that they were in a position that could benefit me on the back end, but it turned out not being the case. There's been other artists that I've sent tracks to, and they don't do anything with it. And there's been other artists, singers, artists that I will book studio time with, and something comes up. Oh, I can't show up because something came up. That happened a lot. And when you go through that, you kind of get to a point to where you throw your hands up. You just say, all right, I ain't doing this no more. I ain't recording artists no more. And then you have other artists come to you like, yo, I got a track. Yo, can you do a track for me? And you know, you get to this point, especially being an artist. See, I'm a independent recording artist, right? And then get to the point of, well, I'm just artist now. I'm not even a producer anymore. I'm not, you know, I'm just doing my music and stuff like that. And that worked for a while till I kind of figured out how to have a beat store to where I could send all these artists to. And so now, and what happens is that I got to a point to where I'd rather leave money on the table than deal with artists, because the majority of my experiences dealing with artists is that they don't show up, they're not going to do anything with the track, and it almost creates a blanket statement in your mind. It's like, yo, I don't mess with artists anymore, you know, and I'll just do my own thing musically. But I've come to realize that my gifts are bigger than that. I can remember being in high school, I was the guy everybody came to for the tracks, but no one was around to teach me the business aspect, how to manage that. No one was there to teach me how to protect myself in the environment of artists, some artists being what they say they are, and others just kind of come around just for the experience, you know. Because what happens is, if you're a producer, if you're somebody like me who has a kind of like a street representation or a street what's the word I'm looking for? Not reparation. And I know somebody knows it in the video. I'm not editing this crap after that. Reputation. So I've always had a reputation of being in the music from high school, middle school, to now. And so these artists will come around and see, I watch these individuals and they're living their life. They're grown-ups, they're doing what they gotta do. Then you come around and, oh, now you're an artist again. Well, what were you doing while I was away? What were you doing on your own, you know? Because you're going to run into some artists that want to depend on you for everything. And I used to rise to that challenge. It used to be my thing. Okay, I'm going to shoot your video. Because, you know, I think there's something we can do here. I'm going to shoot your video. I'm going to mix your song. I'm going to master your song. I'm going to edit your song. Oh, I'm going to do your artwork too. Oh, yeah. But after a point, that gets too much, you know. But again, I had no mentor to kind of hold my hand and teach me this. And so years of that, you know, you just kind of, you're trying to do everything you can to move forward in your career. You know, you don't have a blueprint. There's nobody who's made it who's genuinely interested in your success. So you have to figure out ways to move it yourself. And that experience can be like, yo, forget it. I ain't dealing with that. Man, bump that. Like, no, I'm not producing, because every time I produce for somebody, they didn't want to show up late to the session, or they just say thanks for the track and don't do anything with it, right? And I'm here to say today that can work for a time, but I think that now with this new mindset and with doing a beat store, that I'm able to serve artists in a way that it puts me in a better position so that a lot less of that or none of that happens. One of the things I have to realize is that I may have had like a handful of artists that didn't branch out my career, that I've given to and I helped out, that they're connected with this group, they got this Grammy. Producers that have had Grammys, that have had hit singles, and I try to link with them, but what they had couldn't pull me up, The truth is that not everybody's like that. Everybody is different. And I think that my job is to seek out other artists. And then if I run into a rapper that doesn't really have anything to bring to the table other than their talent, and they're not promoting their own music, and they're not actively doing things, that's fine. And you just move on to the next artist, because there are some good artists. And which brings me to now, like, I don't know if you guys know, like, I've been on BeatStars for like 1 month, right? I've been on BeatStars 1 month, and I'm gonna pull up my statistics. Sorry for my articulation, y'all. I'm gonna work on that. But the thing is, it's like I've been on BeatStars for like a month, and what's interesting is that I'm trying to see what's going on with my page. Well, anyway, in the first month of me being on BeatStars, I heard they were having issues. I sold it exclusive, like within the first month, and that artist that was from Japan. Her name's Choco, Japanese artist. Found that Japanese Ishi beat. Y'all probably see me make it live on YouTube, and that was there, and it was pretty cool. And I know I kind of got on a tangent with that, but what I'm saying is that I sold beats on BeatStar. And this came from me resolving to like, all right, I'm not going to try and serve artists anymore. I'm not going to do tracks to artists anymore. But there was never a time where someone didn't come to me for tracks. But now I kind of have a business system in place for that. And then there are some artists where you still have to send your tracks out. If I hadn't gave my tracks out for free, or I haven't done my music with certain people for free, I would have never got the placement I had got back in the day, right? So I say that to say that not all artists are the same, and learn to identify which ones are worth dealing with and which ones are not worth dealing with. I can tell you a very easy indicator of the ones worth dealing with are the ones that buy your tracks. Like I got artists, an R&B artist who bought my R&B track, bought a lease for it. Bought that. Another person bought the kind of neo-soul hip-hop track. Shout out to Hank. He's like my best customer. Those are the artists I want to deal with because they see value in what I do as a producer. And I would have never ran into that if I hadn't tried just one more time with an improved mindset on how to deal with artists, singers and rappers and stuff like that. If I didn't kind of have a better platform in place, if I didn't have a catalog dedicated for other people. And that's another thing. Like, I do a lot of tracks and most of them are all for me. And I'm like, because I don't produce for nobody anymore. So I'm just going to do them all for me. Now, not only do I produce for me, I produce for artists now. And I have a catalog for that. And out of that catalog, it's easy for me to send someone a track with the intention of it blossoming out. But see, that's the thing. My mindset is this: if I send an artist a track now, is preferably for them to eventually lead to a sale, or to lead to a song that they record, to more recognition, or to also identify that that's not the artist I should be singing the music to. Because if I send an artist a track or a beat, and they don't kind of bounce back or respond or reciprocate that energy, then I can identify that that's not the artist I need to work with. But that doesn't mean I stop there at that artist and the mission's over. It means that I go find another artist and I identify other artists that could be worth that, you know? And I think it's a numbers game, personally. I think it's a numbers game. I think you have to go through a certain amount of people before you find the right ones that fit what you're trying to do. Same thing with the beats. I'm quite sure there's tons of beats on BeatStars. And a couple clients of mine found me on BeatStars. Out of all those people, they found me. And I don't have the followers, I don't have the plays, and I'm only at 24 tracks right now. You know? So this kind of shows me that there could be some results there. There could be something to producing tracks for artists again and coming back to it versus just exclusively being the artist and stuff like that, which definitely will always come first, which I will always find time for to be an artist. But at the same time, I can make money to support my artistry by creating content and creating value for other artists to use for their projects. And then they buy the track and they do their thing. But at the same time, that gets more credit. So, you know, I basically got a placement because, and that's another thing, and I'll close with this because we're at 11 minutes. And if you hear this long, I appreciate that. It's a placement because someone's bought the track, they produced the album, and it's out. That's a placement. And, you know, I have to think about it. Would I be any less satisfied if I had 1,000 indie placements versus one major placement? And I'd say, I think I would be all right with that. Of course I want the major placement. But if before it's all said and done and I hang up the MPC, which I pray is never, I'll say this. I'll say like, yo, okay, if I can't do a track for Jay, well, let me do a track for a 10,000 like Jay. You know? You still make an influence. You still make a mark. So I know this video went to 12 minutes. This is not for, and this is just some producer mindset, motivation for someone out there. I don't know who this is for. It's for me, and it's my intention to help whoever this helps. And if it doesn't, that's fine. That's cool. This video probably wasn't for you anyway. But if it does help you and inspires you to research other avenues for your music production as a music producer, then this is what you should do. And if you like this kind of content, let me know in the comments below, because that helps give me inspiration to do more of this by your feedback, you know. And even if you don't like it, thumbs down, that's cool. Like I said, this video isn't for anybody. It's just for those who are probably in the same place I'm at right now, which is stretching my horizons, finding more ways to generate value from this, because it's cool to make beats at home, but after a while, you know, what do you do to monetize it, to grow it? You know, how do you touch people? Because it has only so much impact in this room, you know. If you want to hear that track that I produced for the artist who bought an exclusive from me, I'll leave the link in the description below. It's called Wash Away by Choco. Based in Japan. I think it's a dope track, and I think you think it's a dope track too. I'll leave that in the description. And make sure you subscribe and like this content. I'm going to get out of here. Peace.